So this is a poem for my mother. The real reason I don't have any tattoos is not my story to tell. It's my mother's. Once, walking down Bedford Avenue in my 20s, I called her, as I do. I told her how I wanted a tattoo on the back of my neck, something minor but permanent. And she's an artist. I wanted her to create the design, a symbol, a fish I dream of every night, an underwater talisman, a mother's gift on my body. To be clear, I thought she'd be honored. But do we ever really know each other fully? A silence like a hospital room. She was in tears. I swore then that I wouldn't get one. Wouldn't let a needle touch my neck, my arm, my torso. I'd stay me, my skin, the skin she welcomed me into the world with. It wasn't until later that I knew it wasn't so much about the tattoo, but the marking, the idea of scars. What you don't know, and this is why it is not my story, is that my mother is scarred from burns over a great deal of her body. Most from an explosion that took her first child she was carrying in her belly. Others from the skin grafts where they took the skin to cover what needed it. She was in her late 20s when it happened, outside her studio in the center of town. You have to understand, my mother is beautiful, tall and elegant, thin and strong. I have not known her any other way. Her skin that I mapped with my young fingers, its strange hardness in places, its patterns like quilts here, riverbeds there. She's wondrous, preternatural, survived fire, the ending of an unborn child, heat and flame and death, all made her into something seemingly magical, a phoenix-s. What I know now is she wanted something else from me. For me to wake each morning and recognize my own flesh. For this one thing she made, me, to remain how she intended. For one of us to make it out unscathed.
This poem, Gold Leaf, is the one that is on the amazing broadside that Todd made, and thank you, Todd, for making the broadsides. They're really quite stunning. And also, it's all, well, I was going to say, a reviewer said this poem is all one sentence, but they are actually incorrect. It is all one fragment. It's not even a sentence. I thought it's really a shame when reviewers don't even know the difference between grammar and syntax, but there we are. So that's all to say. If you're thinking, does it resolve? Does it? No, it's just floating. It's just floating. Why is it called Gold Leaf? I don't know. Truly. Fine. To lift without ever asking what animal exactly it once belonged to, the socketed helmet that what's left of the skull equals, up to your face, to hold it there, mask-like, to look through it, until looking through means looking back through the skull, into the self that is partly the animal you've always wanted to be, that, depending, fear has prevented or rescued you from becoming, to know utterly what you'll never be, to understand in doing so what you are, and say no to it, not to who you are, to say no to despair. It's just a floating fragment. It comes from having a cow skull above my desk in my office, and I was just staring at it, and that's what you get.